Good day to all. This is our daily Mishnah study and prayer for those yard sites that are observed tonight on the 8th of Nisan. Arthur Bamberger, David Bamberger, Yetchen Bamberger, John Benjamin, Dina Gottlieb, Ruth Rosenberg, Sam Singman, Benjamin Stempelman, Pearl Wasserman, and Shandel Wennick. May their memory be for a blessing. We are up to the Mishnah in chapter 9 of Psachim, Mishnah 4, and as always, the link to the text of the Mishnah will be in the first comment below. Ha-Pesach sheba betuma, if the Pesach offering was brought in a state of contamination. So these first few words need a bit of an introduction. It had been taught in a previous Mishnah that there's a special dispensation if the majority of the nation is impure. So we've been learning until now that if an individual is impure because they've been in contact with a dead body, they cannot observe regular Pesach and they're bumped off to Pesach Sheni, the second Pesach a month later. However, interesting loophole, if the majority of the Jewish people are impure, well, how would that happen? I don't know, a lot of funerals, a lot of impurity, however it might happen, then we infer from the verses of the Torah, we're not going to bump off the majority of the nation to Pesach Sheni and have only a minority observe real Pesach, and then all bets are off and we say, all right, we just observe the first Pesach in a state of contamination, the special dispensation that the Torah gives. So kind of an interesting loophole. But even in that case, right, where Pesach was brought in a state of impurity because the majority of the nation is impure, lo yochlu mimenu zavin v'zavos nidos v'yoldos. That only applies to the impurity that comes from outside your body, that's from a dead body that you've been in contact with. But for someone whose impurity comes from within their own body, so a man or a woman that's a zav and a zava, a man or a woman who have some sort of bodily discharge, a menstruant, a woman after childbirth. So these people are ritually impure, and they do get bumped off to Pesach Sheni, to the secondary Pesach, okay? The im achlu paturim mikares, but we throw them a bone and we say, but if they did go ahead and eat from the Passover offering mistakenly, then their soul is not cut off from Israel. Even not mistakenly, by the way, it's implied. It just says, and if they eat it, they probably didn't do right, but their soul will not be cut off. Okay, so that's nice to know. Rabbi Eliezer poter afal bias mikdash. Rabbi Eliezer goes further than that, and he says even if they enter the temple, the punishment for entering the temple in a state of impurity is also your soul being cut off. There's a few things in the Torah that have that intense punishment. But if someone has this kind of bodily impurity, God would not cut off their soul for entering the temple in that circumstance, because the whole Pesach offering is being brought in a state of impurity, and everyone on the Temple Mount is impure, and there also it's sort of a case of all bets are off in that regard. Okay, with that we will say the memorial prayer. Eloah slichos chanun v'rachum erech apayim v'rav chesed hamtzeka paras pesha v'akravas yasha menucha nechona tachas kanfei ashchina b'malos kedoshim v'tahorim Kizor harakia mashirim es nishmos kol haskaros shel halayla shel chuli olamam. Anabal rachmim zachra lahem latova kol zchuyosehem v'tzikosehem. Yartos achayim psach lahem shari tzedek v'ora shari chemla v'chanina. V'seser kenefecha tasdirehem liolamim. V'tzor b'tzor achayim es nishmasam. Adonaihu nachlasam. V'yenuchu b'shalom mishkavam ben omar amen. And in English, we'll say the prayer for following the study of Mishnah. Please, O Hashem, full of mercy, for in your hand is the soul of all the living and the spirit of every human being. May you find favor in our Torah study and our prayer for the souls of Arthur Bamberger, David Bamberger, Yetchen Bamberger, John Benjamin, Dina Gottlieb, Ruth Rosenberg, Sam Singman, Benjamin Stempelman, Pearl Wasserman, and Shandel Wennick, in whose memory we pray. Continue to accept them with love and affection, and send them your holy and pure angels to lead them to settle under the tree of life. Hear the souls of the righteous and devout men and women, to enjoy the radiance of your presence, to satiate them from your good that is concealed for the righteous. May their body repose in the grave with proper contentment, pleasure, gladness, and peace. As it is written, let him enter in peace, let them rest on their beds, everyone who has lived in his proper way. As it is written, let the devout exult in glory, let them sing joyously upon their beds. And as it is written, if you lay down, you will not fear. When you lay down, your sleep will be sweet. Amen. I noticed there are three names from the same family. Sometimes when that happens, we're dealing with victims of the Holocaust who might have been killed on a particular day, all from the Bamberger family. If you happen to know, the details of that, please let me know. I'm always interested to know details about the names that I'm reading so that they come alive, not just names on the page. And I appreciate sometimes people reach out to me and tell me, you know who that person was? They're my friend, they're my relative. Let me tell you something about them. So I've already sort of learned a little bit about some of the names that I read every day. Oftentimes, when we're dealing with Holocaust victims, they are commemorated or listed in our yard site list on a fast day. There's a lot on Yom Kippur. There's a lot on Tisha B'Av, because people didn't always know the date on which their loved ones were killed. Anyway, here I just noticed three from the same family and was wondering if we're dealing with victims of the Shoah. But in any case, I hope everyone has a good day. Take care.